Hey everybody, welcome to Defense Against the Dark Arts. So I'd like to kind of say that it's been my observation in much of the pagan community that while we say defense, what we usually mean is like new age stuff or put their name in the freezer, kind of things that actually don't really seem like defensive stuff. And my question um, is going to be that ultimately, if we have something egregious happen to us physically uh, and or mentally, why do we go take the steps to kind of make sure that is rectified as importantly as possible without having to get it? No, 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 like someone is, completely like your daughter's boyfriend or whatever is completely being, and just well, I'll put his name in the fridge. Thing like no, no, no. You go, why would you not do that magically, right? Because magic is an extra tool we all have, and one that, unlike a lot of those others, it has the potential to do just a lot of good in more of an assertive way. I mean, just think of Mother Nature, right? There was a story I heard a number of years ago that people were, one of the magical shops, right? And these youngsters, and they were part of the craft and hurt no one kind of thing. A hurricane came through and they were just trying like, hey, what do we do? They thought, well, it's nature. I mean, they were so used to the positives, right? That then you realize, no, Mother Nature, that's part of life and it will run you down. It's not a matter of, so it's a matter of living in balance. So, and so this is essentially what defense entails. Uh, so So magic, as we said, as I said, is a part of the lives where we affect changes for the better of our community and singularly meaning ourselves individually. So that would be not just defense of other people. I mean, this impacts you as well. This is something that is vitally important to understand that as magic does a lot of wonderful things, it's also a very good thing to learn how to do these things so you can live in a world this way. So let me see. So I think to myself, a lot of these reasons for maybe being apprehensive or it could be stemmed from a couple of reasons, just to think about, but in my opinion, it could be very likely, right? And so um it just it could be apprehensiveness because a lot of people they're experienced with it, the magic in question. It's people may be used to the regular way of doing magic and kind of feeling the energy, but if we're talking about assertiveness and doing something in that regards of defending yourself or those, the amount of intent putting in there is very, very heavy. And if people maybe not experienced with that, they just like, no, no, I'd rather not. And I mean, but I feel that if going forward they do that, it would help grow their magical persona. They would need to kind of, because you can't stay like that forever. You can only grow by pushing yourself, especially with magic. And if you've been told, no, I can't do it, don't harm, no, I don't want to do it. The difference as I see it when it comes to that is that when it comes to defense, it is vastly different than the quote unquote colloquial rule of three, right? So we've all heard do as you will and harm none, which if you think about breaking that down, it's yeah, there's a little bit wishy, it's a little bit of wiggle room, but the primary thing is you don't want to do these things. Now, there is a vast difference, as I said, between do as I none and being positive and justified, as I would call it. So you were doing things not to be selfish or hurtful, whether you know it or not. You take an honest look at yourself. You're like, you know what? I'm tired of this. This person needs to be caught. This person has, you take it into your hands. I'm looking to not going to be Batman and jump around the street, but I'm going to add my own energy to that, especially if it's personal. And when that happens, ultimately, you might find that, wow, this is happening. The focus is strong and everything's been going good. And oh wow, it actually worked, that kind of thing. And on the other hand, if you were doing this, and this is why it's important to be honest, without any thought or fanfare, that very well may be when the karma comes back to you three times three. Because you could say to yourself, well, I need it, but who knows what we need, right? And so that's when it's like you got to make sure that what you're intending to do is for the greater good for yourself or whatever, and it's not going to backfire. So, yes, Miss Hannah.
If I might add
Sure,
something,
sure.
when you feel justified
Mhm.
that someone needs their comeuppance
Mm-hmm.
and you set matters in motion
Mm-hmm.
and then leave it to the greater good,
Yeah.
leave it to the powers that
Yeah.
be, leave it to the goddess,
Mm-hmm.
that they get what they deserve,
Mm-hmm.
and that all then the people they are harming
Yeah.
are no longer harmed,
Exactly. Yeah.
then that is not karma that's going to come back on you.
Yeah. She's
If
absolutely.
if I understand what you're saying.
Absolutely. No, she makes a very good point. It's absolutely true, right? If one of the ways you do this stuff is, you know, you can do, a spell of that nature, but you can just as easily, and more oftentimes than not, I've done defensive magic, like you were saying, just by, calling in a specific god or goddess and say, here, help me with this thing. And then thanking kind of thing, putting the same kind of intention. And what all the gods and goddesses that I work with, for those who know me, uh, will know that I try to, as much as I can, develop relationships with them in that sense. So I may not know specifically when their birthday or feast days is, although I can research it, but I try to get a handle on them. I've called them into myself or inside their circle, another class, and I can get a feeling of how they feel. And so I would probably say, for example, for justice, I would maybe work with Thor for that case because he is protector of both Midgard and Earth. And just because we're not on the battlefield at that moment, justice can still be done in a courtroom. It can still be done outside. It doesn't necessarily have to be in one area. And thank you, Thor, that, hey, he'll take care of it. Now your job is good. And you can take comfort in the fact that that was one of the ways that it was justified. You weren't like the man to get so involved and then your emotions took over, right? Yeah. So, yes,
I want to talk about justification.
go for
Different practices depends on your practice.
Mhm.
If it's an ATR, African traditional religion,
Mhm.
or a path where you actually ask spirit to
Mhm.
give you a sign.
Yeah.
I will give an example of my practice with Santissima.
Mhm.
Is when I go to her, I ask her to give me a sign of one of her objects. And whichever object appears
Mhm.
will give me the answer and how to address the justification and how to do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's very important that if you get no from spirit, if you proceed, you are on your own territory of it could possibly come back to you.
Oh, absolutely right. And yeah, there's, in my experience, people who have not read the Apple's terms and contracts, it will. It's not a matter of if, it's a big time because at that point, you are interfering with the way that works. You are now going so far as to, well,
But it also depends on the deity too, of how
Yeah.
the deity will take their lick back on
Mhm.
you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's very much so. And there's going to be some gods or goddesses that you would work with that uh, would deal with justice, but I should say, but they are justice oriented, yes, but it's just also important, as I said, to develop relationships because, yes, those gods and goddesses may be using justice, but because of their personality, because of the way that they are, that justice will be the difference between exposing them and getting them to court versus, you know what I'm saying? And so you have to do your homework. And like, if you don't do that, then hey, you call the person in, you develop a relationship, and you want them to do that. and then you didn't do your homework, and then you're gonna like, well, how did that happen? Well, because you know what I'm saying. So yeah, absolutely right. That's-
So when I think of defense and you keep mentioning justice,
Right.
And you've said before
Mhm.
that it's not quite the same as the thou shall not hurt,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
The 3 of 3.
Yes.
Is it because the word defense is
Right.
because someone is already harming you? So it's in true defense, you're protecting yourself versus what's coming to you, not necessarily hurting others
Exactly.
without intention.
Yeah.
You're protecting yourself
Yes.
with intention. So
Mhm.
calling in a deity to help you protect yourself.
Yeah.
Now, whatever happens to the person that's doing that to you,
Yeah.
this is their comeuppance,
Oh, yeah.
their karma.
Exactly.
Right? Okay,
Absolutely.
so that's, I'm sorry, just wanted to make
No,
a
no,
distinction.
that
I'm gonna add
Yeah.
one more
Consequence to their actions,
thing
right?
to that. It depends on what's going on in the situation. Because if you are saying like, I've had experience of another practitioner using fake vessels to go at people. You want to make sure when you do this that you're very specific of what you're sending back. Be like, I want it to go to the actual true origin.
Okay.
And anyone that is being used and not known to be used,
Right.
they don't get the karma, because some practitioners are like this. They will use other people to do their dirty work,
Yeah.
thinking that they can walk away scot-free.
So making sure that you have clear intention
Yes.
for whatever it is that you're trying
Yeah.
to focus on.
Yes.
You're setting that very clear boundary, clear intention.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, and it's true. And so once again, it's justified. It is the correct situation. And once again, I also want to emphasize that people who may not used to this, some emotions that we use, we of course we're including ourselves in the ritual and emotion for intent. When it comes to stuff like this, it tends to be, how should we say this? Anger and rage, in the sense of magic, is not always a bad thing, and I'll explain why. If you can handle this wild horse in that, and you focus that anger onto justice, and you use that energy, it is very to the point where people like it, because you are doing things for, let's say, something like calling the deity, children being whatever, like the worst thing you probably think of, and if you were focusing that energy of this cannot go on. This is something must be done about this. And this is gotten to that point. That focus is very, very powerful.
Channeling that power.
Oh, yes, yes. It is
Righteous indignation.
absolutely. Yeah. Mhm, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm,
very cool.
So, so as we've said, there's other practitioners who do not really want to go through this. They've been told such and such. And another way of looking at this is, as I said earlier, you want to stretch these magical muscles. You want to have that righteous anger. You want to have information there at your disposal in your magical toolbox to deal with every situation. And, you know, like I said before, we live in this world where something happens. There's also the benefit of doing things of this nature when you're doing intent. You start observing more of what's known as shadow work, right? Now, for those who may not know what shadow work essentially means, it means the stuff about yourself that may not be the nicest. You know, you're dealing with things that aren't, you know, fuzzy bunny type of thing. You're dealing with things which, how should I say, you are utilizing and using that aspect of yourself that most times you do not want to have it so obvious. These are things of you know, you want to work in secret with and not be broadcast. Not that it's bad or evil, but it's just like it's
A deeper part of yourself?
yes, exactly. It's when like yes.
Secrets.
The way I was taught my shadow self was, it's basically the part of you that is the most raw, but also can encompass grief, pain, and vengeance as well. This is the part of you, if you need to use it in a spell that you lock away so you don't hurt people,
Right.
you have to unlock it if you need it.
Yeah.
Because there's some things, sometimes there's some justification, you have to bring that out to fulfill the justification, especially if it's like anything for a death, wrongful death, or anything that's disrespect to a family member, if someone gets hurt, or if you're having issues in your relationship and the person is abusive to you, you have to bring that part of you out so you can actually make sure you're using an actual stronger part of the energy of it to give it that oomph.
Okay.
Exactly. We all have both sides of us. Once we start realizing more and more that we are two halves of the same coin. In my practice, personal practice, I like to walk that line between magical and mundane to the point where it's blended. And even I sometimes like, oh God, I think it's even I would be like, wow, how can I put this? Like the other day, I had done some spell work for this class, and it just came to me like, and because I'm so used to doing that, wow. And then doing that was the first time in a while I remember, oh yeah, that's right. It's like I did this format, but I didn't even realize it was done and written out in 2 seconds because I'm so used to doing these things during the day, as opposed to say, well, we do this, when we do that, it just boom. This entire presentation, which I'm very happy and proud to do, and I think it's long overdue, it rambled in my hamster wheel of a brain, and I was like really majority of it done. But Shadow Side says I can't focus very well. There are parts of me that, in my head, gotta write it down, right? So yeah, it's
So may I suggest that we all get to know that shadow side of ourselves before we need it,
Yes.
so that we can control it when we need it.
Yes.
Because you can't just go off
Yes.
like a loose cannon,
No.
right? So if there's trauma, if there's, stuff that happened, all kinds of stuff. We all have stuff. If you unpack it little bits at a time and work through it, then it's not so overwhelming when you need that gut reaction.
Oh yeah.
Another phrase that my grandmother taught me was, you want to train your shadow self, especially with the rage and the anger, to be a fine, sharp sword that you can wield when you need it.
That's beautiful.
And always work on it and always keep it sharp. Don't let it get dull. And that's basically keeping your shadow self up to date with like working through it and actually understanding where it comes from.
So are you gonna host a shadow club?
Yeah.
I love that phrase.
Do that next year.
Do that next year.
I love that phrase magically. First time I'm hearing it, actually, it's amazing. And I'll tell you why, right? So much like what we're discussing shadow work is, like she was saying, you have to unpack it slowly. You have to be in a position where you are really open, raw, and honest with yourself. Maybe you don't do grief very well. Maybe you have angers. Maybe you have all that stuff. And going through it individually, like it suggested, you want to unpack that a little bit at a time, right? And so what she was saying was, it is a sharpened sword, because you are essentially working through your trauma and coming to a better understanding of who you are and what you may not like. While you are working on your shadow selves, getting help and getting it more, like controlled under you, you're at the same time focusing that into righteous justice and using that same energy while you're being able to redirect it into something which can actually help people. It's amazing. I couldn't have put it better myself. That is a perfect use of and whatever you're going through, kind of redirecting and focus for the greater good. Basically use things that you may not like about yourself because you think such and such, but then once you're working through it, you're like, oh, well, yeah, I got to be honest with my shadow self kind of thing. What can I do besides getting the trauma to kind of one at a time and help myself? Boom, right there. Use it absolutely as that.
And that's the perfect defense against the dark arts is to be ready,
Yes.
to be healthy, spiritually healthy.
Yeah.
So that if someone does attack you, it's kind of like the germs.
Yeah.
You keep yourself, your body healthy,
Right.
and then you can go out there and there's flu or whatever, but
You're okay.
you're okay.
Oh, 100% analogy. I love it. That's true. You got to keep that magic person strong.
Keep that magic.
That's right. That's right.
It's a muscle, you must use it or you lose it.
Like, and that,
But another thing when it comes to the dark arts and the defense against the dark arts, it's also the wards and the trigger traps you can have.
yeah.
Because I like to do trigger traps, so if something goes off or break, I know what's up. Ding ding.
What is trigger trap? Pardon?
So I'll let her explain.
So it's something my grandmother taught me. You create something that if someone A is sending you any negative, it's like an evil eye, but a little bit more modified to what you want it to be. If someone's trying to hex you, or trying to interfere with your job, or trying to interfere with your life, or interfere with your family, you can do like a protective charm and do it in a way that if this breaks, you know what to do next to send it back full force.
So like a physical something,
Yeah.
like if you have a physical mirror near a door or something,
Yeah.
like if that mirror actually breaks, it's not just a cat, it's someone trying to like
Yeah.
work me kind of a thing.
Simple to that, yes.
like it.
But you can also have like a bell too.
Yeah.
Like a wind chime or a bell that's in like a certain type of talisman. And if it rings or if something happens or it falls off the wall, that tells you, hey, make sure you eliminate all the practical, like someone hit
Not
the
a
wall,
cat,
not a
right,
cat, any of that. And if there's no other explanation, you know someone's trying to send you something that should not be said.
From
Right.
another class.
And
Okay.
so what I want to do is clarify that is true. That is very good what she is saying. But your defense should ultimately be more comfortable with the energies that you may be used to working with, right? And so, yes, physical stuff is wonderful. For myself, I have not studied that practice and I have not done it, so I would not be comfortable just doing it on my own, right? I'd have to learn if I'm able to learn, right? So I use stuff that's more in tune with me. Now, for me, one of the things that I tend to tell people is if I like something, I'm going to look as much as I can into it. That also includes magic and occultism. I've had various experiences with particular people who happen to have a vast, vast magical library. And when I'm talking about vast, I'm talking about not just witches, which are like ceremonial magic. I learned and I decided to tell myself, I'm going to learn as much as I can from this. And while I may not be practicing it, I will know enough about it. Say, if something happens to me or they're trying to direct something at me, I know enough in how to do it. Like, hey, banish, 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 keep myself strong, right? And so from that, I tended to extend my magical muscles, but also my energy senses. I mean, wouldn't call it like, spidey sense for witchcraft, but it's kind of sort of is because you start to get that feeling eventually and it becomes a part of you. And then you'll be in a place and something smells rotten mentally, or you can see that you'll be able to tell, oh, wow, this person, and take that accordingly. Now, is that better or worse than what she didn't know? Because it's not about that. It's about what works. And, if it works, great. That is her path. That is great. That works. Not that it works any different than mine. It's just different,
Learn to listen to that gut feeling.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
To
And-
follow your instincts.
Yeah,
your
your intuition will not lead you wrong.
It will not. And
My mind.
I would suggest that you have you have different trinkets out. Not trinkets, you have different things. The important thing to know is if you go and get talismans or something and you wish to use them, that's fine. But remember, your energy has to be put into that. You have to intent and believe that that's going to work instead of just buying it and hoping it is. However, I do feel comfortable that everyone here knows about that. So there was a lot of individuals from the past who not only understood and embraced these concepts. We like to think that there is very few people in occultism who may directly, but there was, in the Straight Aradia and the Straight tradition, who some would view.
One quick thing about the talismans.
Yes.
Talismans that I typically use, or I'm talking about,
Right.
it's homemade, that you make it with your god and goddesses that you choose of. Medusa is a great person to work with.
Anything homemade is going to have the focus and energy on it already. So, yeah, no, Aradia, Devonshire, they have it was Striggeria. There was I forget the name, the Gospel of the Witches. There was there's an author that I'm blanking out. If you can help me, that was he was
Right? That wrote the story of Aradia.
yes, but there was a an author that was at first unable to to write down writtenly all the old found stuff in Australia. And then a little while later he was able to. And not in layman, but the point is that during Australia, there's plenty of examples.
He had to get permission.
Exactly. And so some stories of Aradia would say she is like the Messiah for witches type of thing, and she came down and she was very instrumental.
Aradia is the daughter of Diana and Lucifer.
Oh.
She was sent to Earth because the people were being oppressed. It was in the 1300s that she was active, and she was an activist. Very, very. She taught people witchcraft and herbology and things like that the church would not allow.
Yeah.
It was the movement of the witches, and it's often said that when it is needed, witches show up. And I think witches are showing up again.
I read that somewhere too.
Yeah.
But it's not
Witches
that it's
show
a
up.
trend. It's
It's
as needed. Right.
It is as needed.
Absolutely.
What's your question?
I have a question, and I don't know, can it be used against somebody that's passed?
Yes,
Mhm.
and that's a whole.
Yeah, that's another class. That's another
A whole,
like
that is
hexing
my
the dead?
classification of
Yeah.
that which to teach that.
Are you talking about hexing the dead?
Yeah.
Oh, you can hex the dead, or you can bind the dead into a box.
Oh, we like that one better. We're going for the box. Moon, we'll talk to you about it after. Seriously.
I didn't know.
I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Well, you can go whole lot of stuff
We're
to
gonna
deal with a.
Well, I tell you, in my own personal experience, I don't talk to mediums often because there's a lot of people on the other side that I don't want to have anything to do with. And I was told by a medium one time that, well, your mother is here. She wants to take care of your children. And I said, well, unless she wants to give me the lottery numbers to send them all to college, she can stay the hell away from me.
Right? Yeah, no.
And I put that intention right there and I've never heard from her again. Because you can't keep putting up with that stuff. I had to put up with that stuff while you were alive. Why should I put up with it now?
Oh,
I
100%.
finally survived you.
Yes.
And that sounds like deep corrective shadow work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
healed yourself internally to the point where you can be like externally.
That's the
Yeah,
entire point.
right,
Exactly.
okay.
Yes.
You don't
Almost
have
like
to
an
do that. You
armor.
have
Huh?
magical
Like an armor.
things to take
Like
care of that.
that.
I personally may not work with, with her as much with that, but I have done exorcisms, believe it or not. I felt enough of my energy at this point to, things. Hey, long story short, I felt these things. I did the appropriate banishments. I exorcised them. They went away. That's all I do. That is, once they're gone out of my life, once they've been sent, whatever the case, I do not work with them after that because I'm not practiced, and that's also, not part of my path. So, do I say anything about that kind of stuff? No, because all these things are just, and it's what the craft is so awesome. People have their own. Once they have foundations, then how they utilize that to the best of their loving and wanting how they feel is beautiful. Is, you can have, setting up your personal altar and you can see it in the book, and then your friend may have something different, and wow, this is completely awesome. It's felt of what comes to you. Yeah. So there was Aradia, and for the record, this entire when people say, witchcraft and the craft isn't old, it is. Well, this was relatively modern. You gotta understand, this is a time when Italy was going through things, and it was not uncommon for parishioners or people to try and spy in on these things. And so, according to legend, one of the things that Arami would do is they would tell these, like, okay, you want to be initiates? Here's a cross, spit on it and stamp on it and break it. Because if they were truly of the craft, they would have no problem with that. But if they were clergy, red face, they're done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what we're dealing with here. So, another good example would be, as we've said, changing the world, right? And there is a, let me see, not the urban legend, but there is a story that the reason why England was never, well, yes. However, what I'm discussing is
He was alive
World
and
War
he
II.
participated in the ritual.
crap, you're right. So thank you. So there is a reason ultimately that some say the Nazis in World War II never set foot in England because there was a call. I think it was Doreen Valiente. There was one. I think it might have been it might have been Doreen that called everybody who was an occultist, and yes, Gerald Gardner was a part of that. This is all England. A call out to say we need everybody to come time and push their energies back and work as a team, because traditionally the more practitioners that you have, the greater the amount of magical energy. It's just common knowledge, right? And so it was done enough to the point where not only were they repelled and blocked, because they gave of themselves so much, most of them, they didn't survive it, shall I say. That life energy was given into that. Now, how many of them actually survived a little bit after, I do not know. But when it came time for justice and taking things happening, witches have always been, or other occultists, we say, but witches in this case, but step up to the plate. Because, yeah, this is
But you
just,
might have to pay the price.
Yes.
yes,
There's
yes,
always
yes.
a price to pay.
There's
You know?
always a price to pay.
Yeah. And so this is why focus is important, because you are not only going into it, but you're taking accountability. You will say, there may be a chance that something's going to happen, but is it worth it? And I think yes,
Well, I want to add one more thing
go for it.
about the price. There's always a price to pay unless spirit demands something.
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to a wrongful death or something very violent has happened to a victim. And sometimes spirit does not want you to give it. They actually want the person.
Yeah. And there is plenty of practices out there that are absolutely like that. I think the was it the app, Caribbean or the other style of Haitian, Voodoo type of thing. In my experience, the Orisha, the lowest, they have a lot more hands-on approach. It's not that it's different. Well, it kind of is, but there is more like involvement with that, and they will work something like what she's saying, like no, we want you to do that, and that ultimately is part of the path that one would walk. Ultimately, that would not be surprising to you. I would imagine it just this is a part of this is what they want, and they will tell you because of that communication, which in those paths, that's just how it works. It's just one of those things like some Orishas want something specifically and you honor them and love them that way. Other people might find it demanding, but that's like, no, that's just how their path is. So you can't say that. And so, so yeah, there's a lot of things of this nature. I was going to mention one more, but I'm not because that would take forever. He's an awesome person. So with
What can we do
yes, I do.
to make something that will protect our homes?
I say nothing to that because she's absolutely right. And rewind the tape. You know why I'm doing this. And so we've come to the part of the class that we're already doing crafting. So everybody, come up here, grab a bottle, open it, and start up.
Also, if you're gonna come up here, be very careful. A lot of these things are very sharp and pointy.
Okay. Yes, we have broken glass. Panda, why do we have broken glass,
Yeah.
shards of obsidian, and rusty nails?
Because I'm the Grinch and I eat them. No, I'm kidding. There's
Hearts too big.
I love you, family. So yes, so the reason why is because we're making a witch's bottle. It's a very traditional witchy thing that up to 1950s, I think they've excavated houses just to have moving and no one can understand what's this bottle doing over here. Yeah, so all of these things. So what you're going to do is you're going to open the bottle. You're going to take items as you see fit and just imagine whatever might be trying to hurt you or your harm, nails, glass, obsidian into that bottle. Okay.
So what if you can't picture something right now?
Yeah.
Like what if I don't think anyone is trying to hurt me?
But see, that's good
I'm
too.
feeling
Prevention
I'm
is the
feeling-
best medicine.
okay, so this is prevention,
Yeah,
not
so
not
yeah.
retaliation.
Yeah, so this is this would
She's
be
allergic to penicillin.
Okay, we'll find something else.
no,
Antibiotics.
yeah.
Antibiotics. It's antibiotics.
This is
A nice vitamin B12
Probiotics.
shot.
yeah. These are
Okay, good, because
no.
I'm feeling amazing
Yeah.
spiritually and in life right now, and I don't wanna put any weirdness in the ether that's going to stop it because I'm like jinxing anything.
So let me ask you a question.
Asking for something.
I don't know.
Yes.
I want
Dude, why do
to
you think?
retain my healing happiness.
You don't want your foot
Okay, why do you think people put fences around their houses?
To keep people out.
To keep the deer from eating their veggies.
Well, among that people, but
Sometimes.
Hey, chum.
They do.
you're generally doing that as protection, right? You're not doing anything wrong with them, but that's part of self-preservation of your house. In case something happens, the fence gonna, yeah, same
Okay.
kind of concept. So you're feeling this thing, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute, but you're gonna be saying protection of this, me and mine. You're basically having, you should call it a fence in a bottle or something. I don't know what you'd say.
Fence in a bottle.
So,
This is defense.
yes, defense.
Defense.
So while you were, we don't hold it yet. Once you're finished with it, just we'll leave it open. And while we're doing that, I can regale you with tales of the way they used to make them back in the day.
He should put back.
We know
down
that-
please.
We
No, not
know
that
from
one.
research that,
Yeah.
a lot of part of the craft, especially ones in our day-to-day life, deal with sympathetic magic. Ergo, they would have something similar.
As many as your little heart desires.
So it was also very important sometimes to get like bodily fluids and things of that nature are also very so
Well, that is bodily fluid.
it is. So
Urine. very common.
And I don't expect anyone to really,
I'm putting you there.
To fill with bottles.
yeah. I wouldn't expect anyone to really go through this, but just to give you an example of how these things are done, it is not uncommon for people to, put in, menstrual blood, urine, all this stuff that, yeah.
Yeah.
They have,
Work too, depends
because
what you're trying to do.
you're putting more of your energy into it for protection. So it would not be uncommon, say, to find one with like urine, menstrual blood, all this other stuff inside the bottle mixed together. Because
Yeah, you could put that.
if you feel that would strengthen it, that's great. But if you don't do that, it's not gonna have any less. Yes,
It's
go.
also an identifier.
Yes,
It's
yes,
identifying this is who it may protect.
yes,
Me and mine.
yeah,
Think of what a wolf will do with their territory or
yes, yes,
their territory.
yeah,
They will,
Okay, cats
they
do the
will
same
mark
thing.
it.
yeah.
Cats do exactly the same thing.
Fix them so that they don't anymore.
No, they still do it.
They still do it.
Well, wait for Catalina, then we can shake our bottle together.
Okay.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, don't put your lid on yet.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
so everyone got one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise the mind, shake it.
No.
So, when you're holding them now we're gonna be, okay, so. We're all gonna repeat this spell together.
I'm sorry. I
Not
wasn't.
done yet.
Oh, okay,
ready
no.
yet, but
Okay.
you can keep going, just- I'm not here. Keep shaking, guys, keep shaking. That's really pretty.
Yeah.
Do I have to put it in there?
No,
I want-
whatever you want to, like, if you want to put that in, great. Not gonna, the effect of this is not gonna be meaning because you put one less or another. Okay,
Yeah.
so. So now we're going to repeat this spell, right? So everyone, I guess we can stop shaking now. I guess that's not my bad.
Well charged.
So with this bottle, I do decree. With this bottle, I do decree. No hate or malice will harm mine and thee.
No hate or malice will harm mine and thee.
Let all who try will run and flee.
Let all who try will run and flee.
As I will it, so mote it be.
Breathe
Breathe in the bottle, float. Breathe it. Breathe, yeah, blow it after your breath. Yep. Mhm.
No. Oh, that's local. Yeah.
So
Do that.
now, but you're asking us what now? So the final step is you're going to find an area in your property and you're going to dig a hole deep enough to place that in so it won't be found or removed. And then after you bury it, okay, I have a report here. After you bury it, turn completely around, declaring so mote it be loudly, and then walk back to your domicile without looking back.
You can also put it into like a corner of your house
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
if you are in a condo or an apartment.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
can't dig.
Or a pot
Inside of a-
inside.
Yeah.
Or a pot, a potted plant.
Yes.
The darker, the scariest place, the better.
So,
Yeah.
so what I
Not
have,
cat box.
I have a front,
Mhm.
I have a front
Mhm.
entryway thing that I put like my gratuity stuff and stuff like that. Can this just go in it, on it, near it?
If it's got gratuity stuff, I would.
It does have like money bowls, and anytime anything good happens to us, I place a trinket on it. It's
I
all,
wouldn't-
it's all on my, and
I
it's
see what
my
you're saying.
mirror. It's
I would
got all
probably
my
advise
stuff.
you no to that, if only
You
because
wanna
if
hide
you want to hide it. Exactly. You want to put it in a
hide it.
place that's dark and musty. You can forget about
So
it.
you have to bury it, so
Yeah.
a plan. That's what I'm gonna do. I have a plan, so next to the entrance, so I'm gonna put it in.
Right. But like you're saying,
Bottle of them.
Does it have to be
We chose the wrong
in
size
front
bottle.
of your place?
That's
that's
one.
Check it out. Close space.
Yeah.
You knew what we were doing, you cheater.
it's
Now,
It's,
it's
because there's greenery where we live, not in front of our houses, but.
Listen, the maintenance
It's
people
still
are
your
just gonna
property.
hate it.
Yeah.
Finding a shovel and I'm digging it.
Yeah.
it's still on your properties.
yeah.
You live there.
Yes.
Okay, so
So,
maybe
yes,
we go by the water or
Yeah.
So
something
just
like
make
that
sure
with
you do it
trees
so
or.
no one else is around,
Yeah.
AKA at night.
Okay,
Yeah, you don't want people watching.
So as long as you find something on your property that's and you dig it deep enough so it won't be found. And the idea is when you say someone you so motive B is closing it, but walking away, signifies magically that you are letting it do its work. Like you're not really like that's one of those things like I'm not gonna check out here. Like it's working. You're already focused on doing that to complete it.
Best place is to find a bush that you like at your complex and dig deep and put it there because bushes don't get lawn mowed over, they just get trimmed.
True. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
And you can cover yourself by moving the leaves and you never get
Freaking
there.
tiger traps. The
Okay.
rainforest.
We could do that.
They go in the.
We could do that in front of yours. I have bushes in front of my place. We could do
But
that.
they are not my.
All
Well,
right, Panda,
Dad-
do you have any last words of wisdom for us?
Follow her things. No, I am. Any questions? Anything else? Otherwise, Panda's finished. All right.
Thank you, Panda.
Thank you.
Oh.